Hello and welcome back to another book review. Today we are reviewing Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. If you want to chat about this, grab your coffee, grab your tea, and let's get cozy. Legendborn, I am so glad that I picked up this book and read it. I actually finished this, April 1st, but in my CAWPILE I put it in my March because I read the majority of it in March. If you haven't heard of Legendborn, in this book we meet Bree Matthews, who's actually a 16-year-old high school student, but she's attending UNC Chapel Hill as like a college prep sort of residential program. Her mom recently passed away in a car accident and she's grieving, and she leaves home to go to this program with her best friend. And what she finds on the Chapel Hill campus is very unexpected. So I loved this book so much. I gave it 5 stars, my second 5-star book of the year. Let's talk some cons, some pros, and what I rated it in the CAWPILE. For characters, one of my only cons with this book is character development. I feel like Bree is very, very well developed. We get a good sense of her history, her internal dialogue, internal conflicts, love interests, all of these things. Very, very well developed in Bree. The other characters, not so much, with the exception of Cell. I love Cell so much. I'll get to that later. But like her best friend, Nick, her love interest, the leader of the Legendborn, all feel pretty one-dimensional. Her dad, her best friend Alice, although Alice towards the end, and possibly if there is going to be a book 2, I think we'll get to see a little bit more of her and get to know her a little bit more. And I understand probably why character development may have taken a back end. This plot is intricate. There is a lot going on. It is based on Arthurian legend, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and there's this whole secret society, there's this whole magic system, and so that's really the focus, and the characters kind of fit into the story, but I'm a really character-driven reader, so I love to know motivations, internal struggles, histories, and we get a little bit of that, but not as much as I like. So for characters, I gave it an 8. For atmosphere, I also gave it an 8. I feel like there were places that we could have explored a little bit more deeply. There were a couple scenes. There's a cemetery scene. I feel like we really did get that atmosphere. We definitely get the atmosphere of the lodge where the secret society kind of holds all of their events. As far as the campus setting, it didn't feel super unique. I just felt like there was more atmosphere-wise that we could have done. 8 is still incredible. It just wasn't a 10 out of 10 for me. Writing style, I gave it a 9. It was very good writing, very easy to read, very well written, I thought. Plot, I gave it a 10. The way that Tracy Deonn incorporates King Arthur, the legend, the Knights of the Round Table, just so amazing. There's so many moving parts to this story. It all wraps together. I love the magic systems. So Bree actually has a magic within herself that she has no idea about until she gets to the campus, and it's kind of triggered by these events that are happening. There's this stuff in the air that lots of different practitioners use. Some call it ether, some call it root, and I really love the way that that was described. So there's the magic system, there's the King Arthur incorporation, there are love interests, and all of these parts that just come together so seamlessly. So I thought the plot was so good. The intrigue was 10. Wow. Wow. I don't want to give spoilers, but just wow. So good. Logic, I gave it a 10. Nothing really popped me out. Everybody kind of acted as I would expect them to, or it made sense kind of. If they did act out of character, it made sense. Nothing popped me out. And then enjoyment was 10 out of 10. I loved this read. It was so fun and I want more. I want more of it. So I think I saw on Goodreads that there will be a second book. I hope that it is sooner rather than later, and I hope that we get to learn a little bit more about the characters. So that was my CAWPILE, which ended up being 5 stars. A couple more pros. Cell. Okay, so Cell is kind of the anti-hero character, and I'm in love with him. I want to be best friends with him. I think he's so interesting. I think he is so... Oh, I just love him so much. He's a huge pro of mine, and I hope we have a lot more of him in future books in the series. He's, I think, my favorite character even besides Bree. I just love Cell. If you're team Cell, please let me know below. I love the way that his story came together. He's definitely one of the most well-developed characters in the book. I'm obsessed with him. Obsessed. And then another pro is the Black perspective. It definitely touched on some hard-hitting points about racism and racist undertones in college campuses, and especially at UNC, and kind of the history of how colleges are built. So I think it's a great discussion starter, especially as a young adult book. That was a huge pro for me, and I found it really interesting to kind of experience these things through Bree's mind in a way that I wouldn't necessarily experience it if I were to walk on the campus. So I thought that was another huge pro as well. Overall, super happy with this book, really glad I read it, and I would recommend it if you enjoy magic, if you enjoy legend, if you enjoy mystery and unknowns. Definitely pick this up, read it, let me know what you think. Thank you for hanging out for another book review, and hopefully I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye!